No. That's copyrighted. I'll think of something.
This whole thing is going to be copyrighted.
Yeah, no. This is a music video podcast, so it's not even a good idea.
Once you think about it, it doesn't make fucking sense.
No.
No, because
it's a podcast, and you can't really play music on podcasts.
And you can't really watch the video.
Wait, did we just... No.
We just canceled ourselves.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Podcast Killed the Video Star, the podcast where we review music videos and take a look at them, and maybe you learn something along the way. I am your host, Collin Black, and also my other host, co-host is what that's called.
Yeah, Seth Garrett.
Yes, middle name Jacob.
Middle name Jacob.
I only call you by Seth Jacob Garrett.
I feel like a lot of people do that.
Yeah, your full name. Like, my middle name is Thomas. It doesn't really flow that well. It's Collin Thomas Black. Collin Thomas Black. It doesn't work.
It does work, but I think the reason why mine works so well is because I have 3 first names.
Yeah, Seth Jacob.
It sounds pretentious.
Yeah, you sound like I know you're an audio guy, but you sound like a kind of guy who would come up to me at a party and go, I have the perfect idea for a movie. It's about this guy who dies. And you're like, oh my God.
But I had the script on me, so I just hate it.
Yeah. So we are, how do we know each other?
So we met in college. We were making short films together.
Yes.
And then we moved out here to Los Angeles, and I said one day, I looked you dead in the eye and I said, we should make a podcast.
And then I was like, you know what? There's not enough.
There definitely aren't enough podcasts in this world.
No, there's not enough podcasts. We were like, you know what? There needs to be one more.
Just one.
One more. And then I think there's no more podcasts after this one.
No, yeah, this is the end of it all.
This is the last one.
Yeah.
This is history.
Yeah.
This is essentially we're going to be in the history books for podcastians.
Podcasters, I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think so. All right, so what music video are we discussing today?
So today we are going to be discussing Video Killed the Radio Star.
Before we get started with this music video, we encourage you to look up the music video and watch it for yourself, and so you can get acquainted with what we're about to talk about.
Links are in the description below.
It's just promptly how we got our name.
Yeah, I think that we both came to this conclusion really easily because we think that it's a perfect segue, just like it was a perfect segue back when MTV first started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first video to play on MTV, as is common knowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
as my dad would say.
I'm not sure if it's exactly common knowledge. Maybe not for people our age and younger.
That's true.
When it came out, yeah, that was definitely like a well-known thing.
Well, I just have a dad who always quizzes me on like 80s pop culture. He's like, oh, who is Daryl Haldand? And then you're like, John Oates. And you're like, oh, good job, idiot.
Yeah.
Gen Zer.
No, my mom used to do the exact same thing. We would be in the car and we'd be just driving down the road having a normal day. And then out of nowhere, she'd be like, who's this band? And if I didn't get it right, the day was off. You
know what? You're not gonna fucking. You work. I work so hard. You do nothing. I'm a child. You fucking piece of. Can we curse on this? Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
curse.
we just put the explicit on it.
Okay, good. I didn't. Well, I don't know who's listening to this. Our family or whatever.
I don't care if my family hears me cuss. Do you care?
Hey, I've already talked shit on my dad already.
You're already there.
We're already there. We're already been talking shit on my father. So
shout out Collin's dad.
And my dad, Seth Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth and Seth.
And my mom for forcing us sometimes to listen to things we thought we didn't want to listen to or watch things we didn't want to watch.
But now we have these quiz our parents really just went around with a Quizlet notebook and was like, okay, we're gonna quiz our kids on 80s pop culture, and now we just know it.
Oh yeah.
So that makes us way better than the average whatever generation we are.
Yeah, because that's how we're looked at as a society, is who knows the most 80s trivia.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back on
the Ready Player One.
Road,
Ready Player One, the book and the movie did that anyway.
Yes.
It's not a very good movie and or book. Anyway, but that's not the point. So let's get back to the music video. So the music video, do we want to discuss it?
Well, let's kind of describe it since we didn't really think this one through. We're going to describe this music video to you guys.
Sure.
And then we're going to discuss it, what we thought about it, some fun facts about it, and just have a good conversation about the video and what it did to pop culture.
For sure.
So we start the video with a beautiful moon, or at least what we think is a moon.
Yes.
And I believe there are what are supposed to be waves.
Yeah, it's like little fabric, like that's being waved around.
And the moon is obviously just a light and a black.
Yeah, it's a spotlight.
It's a spotlight
on like a white wall. You know. Excuse me.
And we start with this,
and then there's like a young girl sitting in front of a radio, like a big radio, and then Trevor Horn, the lead singer of the Buggles, I assume.
The Bugles or the
Buggles?
I guess that
I feel like the Buggles is like too close to the Wiggles.
Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy.
What is that noise? Oh, is that your cat?
Yeah, it's my cat.
But essentially, it starts with that, and then the radio fucking explodes.
And she's standing in front of it, dead, staring at the camera, not even looking like a little off, straight at the camera.
And she just explodes.
The kid freaks me out. Straight up, right off the top.
She giving straight up Carrie vibes.
Carrie
Another
mixed
80s
with
trivia.
She doesn't even know what she's doing, which goes into the message of the music, which we'll get to later.
Okay. But then she's transported into the future where she meets Trevor Horn and a silver jumpsuited female in a clear plastic tube, and she's like sort of floating in the tube essentially. Yeah. And this is the future, and I mean it harps on the themes of it.
Everything's like monochromatic too. That's a huge thing about this. I feel like everything that you look at looks artificial and fake. Even the moon and the waves at the beginning is very obviously. They could have went out and shot the moon and the waves, but they wanted to make it look artificial. Because
that's the whole point of the theme, which is because like Trevor Horn, it's kind of a cautionary tale on what technology, like where it's going and how it's going so fast. Like, and it's weird because it's recontextualized when it was on MTV about like, oh, like technology is awesome. It's like cool. But like, that wasn't what Trevor Horn made the song about,
Exactly.
Which is an interesting take where, you take something that had this one meaning and then because it's the first video on MTV and they all said.
You juxtapose it with itself.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really, really cool and interesting thing to do, but at the same time, it's like, are you dwindling your own message when doing this?
That's true. Your cat is going crazy right now.
It's okay. Well, we'll keep that in, and people will like it. Shout out Amadeus.
Amadeus. He looks like Adam Driver
as a cat.
Yeah, as a cat, which is. Shout out to Erin Beckler, my girlfriend, for making that reference. But yeah, and then the music video is essentially just a bunch of people in a white room, like with silver suits on, just like dancing around.
Yeah, and just synths and straight up 80s vibes.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but this video was oddly weird because none of the people look like they're enjoying themselves.
I don't think they were.
No, and well, that's a part of the message, in my opinion, is these people, when they went into the future, they're not people.
Yeah.
They have lost the emotion because of technology or whatever else is going on in said future.
Which is kind of odd. It's like, that's kind of how we're feeling now today with like all this technology in our hands and stuff like that, where you kind of feel like a husk of yourself after a while, after being on like social media and stuff like that.
At the same time, when you're not on social media, you don't feel like yourself either.
Yeah, because I mean, that's just not even a music video thing. This is just like you're not one person. You are like not like in terms of like a split personality. You are a bunch of different people, and you go around, you know, the world. Like when you're with your grandma, you're not acting like you are with your best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe some people are like truly themselves at all times, but there's like a little part of you that's a little different. And when you're on your phone and on social media, you're in a different world. You're in the metaverse, quote unquote, you know?
The way that you carry yourself is going to be different in any relationship, whether it's in person with your friends, your family, or on social media. The thing that I really enjoy about something like social media is you get to choose what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
So you get to make your own image. A lot of the times, even within person, you will make your opinion on someone within like the first 10 to 20 seconds.
For sure, yeah.
And that has nothing to do...
Like, I still think you're a piece of shit.
Well, I know I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, so. Like when I first... 10 seconds later, and then like you proved me wrong like 30 seconds later, and then I was like, no, that first 10 seconds of me thinking you're a piece of shit, that's
what matters.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Not the 5+ years that we've been friends.
Yeah.
It's those first 10 seconds.
Yeah, but you know, it's still is like that, you know? I still think you're a little piece of shit. A little backstory on me. I'm more of a video person. You're more of an audio person. Like you work in the film industry as a sound person, like sound mixer,
and you're a visual effects
artist and director. And I sound like such a dick. And I'm a director.
You can't really sound... You can't sound like a dick as a sound guy. I've noticed that.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh yeah, the sound guy. They're probably chill.
What do you do in the film industry? Oh, I just do sound.
Yeah, and then I'm a director. Everyone like makes their like eye rolls and like the pretentious motherfucker. And I mean I understand why people think that way, because I've met a shit ton of pretentious people who are like, I'm a director, and then I'm like, yeah.
Did they use the I'm a director?
Yeah, like they said, you know that Family guy who's got the job.
The
yeah, he's like, oh yeah. So
doesn't he have a kid with the upside down face?
I don't know the lore of Family Guy.
I think all directors have children with upside down faces.
I had a me that had an upside down face, if that counts.
On, you mean like on Wii?
Yes, a wee me.
A wee me?
A wee me. But I snorted, sorry. But I don't even know what we were fucking talking about. We're
talking about Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh, is
the
that
music video?
Oh, wait, is
on
that
the
what...
podcast killed the video star.
Very good. I forgot about that entirely.
You forgot there's a microphone right in front of you.
Oh yeah, I thought we were just talking.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's essentially what the music video was. Like, just it starts with. It's a very simple music video. They shot it in a day in South London.
What, in a day?
In a day. So that's like you said, they looked miserable, and I think honestly,
because they were doing 20-hour days.
Yeah, they were shooting like this whole. And it's pretty complex. Like, they had a bunch of effects in it. And I think they looked miserable, not because of the art, but because it was just a long-ass day and they shot, like, everything.
Yeah. No, I can see that. But with that, the miserableness that they were having was definitely a thing that was at the forefront of what they were trying to get across in not only the video, but the lyrics. In the music, they speak about how video killed the radio star and that we are the radio star. So what I was grasping from that was the more media, specifically, I guess in this case, video that we're consuming, the more that we aren't being human.
Interesting.
We're becoming more and more numb to society, or more and more brainwashed, or however you want to interpret that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I assume it's because like radio, you have to imagine still, but video, it's nothing, leaves nothing to the imagination, which I believe...
That's one of my problems with music videos. Not that I have problems with music videos in general, but when
Sounds
I'm
like you have
listening
problems with
to
music video.
yeah, essentially. No, when I'm listening to music, I want to have my own interpretation and message of what is being said. And I feel like when I watch a music video, it is never what I perceived it as.
Okay. Well, that's true. I get the same thing, but as a director, I think in terms.
There it is. Every time we say director, we gotta take a drink.
Okay, one. But as a director, no, okay, don't do it. But like, I think in terms of like a music video, and like I'll watch, like I'll listen to a song, and I'm like, oh, I already see a music video in my head when I listen to it, and then when I see somebody else's interpretation, it's almost, but like my retort to that, my rebuttal to that is like, you know, people say the same shit about books. They make books into movies. And it's like, well, my imagination when I'm reading the book is this and that. But like also it's interesting to see a person's interpretation of that book and that song, you know, so I think that it's just an interesting thing where it's like, it's not a representation of the song itself, which it is if like, you know, the singer and songwriter, but it's usually a director, a creative director, or the manager, or whoever, like
really pushing
the style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I guess it does affect, you know, but it doesn't change how you listen to it, I think. It might actually, but
I've had multiple times when I've watched a music video and it has changed the way I listen to the song.
yeah.
Or what I grasp from the song.
Well, I just saw this one, I forget what song it was, and I'm bringing it up now being uneducated, but this guy, he was like just dancing in a room by himself, and he was dancing so silly that nobody took him seriously after that, and he was like a really well-known musician in the 80s, and he was just dancing in a room, but he danced so stupid that like after that, nobody wanted to listen to his music anymore. Yeah. So I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the way you're gonna finish that thought.
Yeah, so that's a thing
that exists.
Check please.
No, but back on the subject of the video and the music.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I was getting from it was that the Buggles are
Wiggles.
a chip, right?
The what?
The Buggles are a chip.
Yes, the Bugles
like
are
a
a chip
that you like put on your finger.
I thought you meant like a microchip, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, I'm going really deep into this.
I thought you were going really deep, and I was not prepared. I was like, "We did not discuss this before the podcast," and I'm like, "Okay, you're about to drop some Socrates shit on me."
Go on like a 20-minute rant about how Buggles are chips and
microchips.
Yeah, and they really have implanted themselves into our brain.
Yeah, since the vaccine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry to get political.
Uh-oh.
Oh, political take right here. Take the vaccine.
We should have like a sound effect whenever there's a political take.
Yeah.
It's an air horn. Like DJ Bardicus.
Yeah. DJ Bardicus, shout out Athens. We went to a school in Athens, Ohio.
Oh yeah, I guess we should have said something about that, right?
Yeah, we went to school in Athens, Ohio, and Ohio University.
And anyone that went to Athens, to Ohio University, knows who DJ Bardicus is.
Yeah, he's the premier DJ there.
Oh yeah.
I have a story about that. If we can indulge it for a second.
Okay.
I was at a bar like right before we left for LA. And Erin was talking to this guy, and it's DJ Bardicus, and she was like talking to him, and then she like came to me, Erin, my girlfriend, and I was like, oh, how was talking to DJ Bardicus? And she was like, that was DJ Bardicus? I was just like, oh, fuck.
That's the best thing about someone like that, someone that's like a local legend.
Yeah, you have no idea what they look like.
Sometimes you don't think about like with him. Actually, with him, I saw him once and I knew it was DJ Bardicus.
Yeah, he just radiates like DJ.
Oh yeah, completely.
Like the balding head and everything.
God, what a man.
I love him.
Okay. So back on the subject of
we got to do tangents. We have to do tangents.
The tangents are great.
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
Yeah, and you got to shout out our hometown, our home college.
We got to shout out DJ Bardicus every episode.
Yeah. Without him, actually 80s Night probably really affected us.
Yeah, no, because he did 80s night at Casa Nueva.
Like 2 weeks? Once every week? Once every 2 weeks?
I went every like month, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played Video Killed the Radio Star every time.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
I mean, it's a quintessential 80s song.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a late 70s song. I was
going to say, even though it was recorded in 1979.
I can't believe I just called what you were about to do. Actually, it was
It was recorded / released in 1979, but the music video aired on MTV in the early 80s. So a lot of people's first experience of the music video
was in the 80s.
But with that, a lot of people didn't have experiences with music videos because there just wasn't a place to play them. MTV was the first place that was playing them consecutively.
They didn't have the internet back in the day?
What?
They didn't have internet?
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Wow.
No, they had internet. They had to have internet. It was dial-up.
I don't think they had dial-up. How could you live without internet? How did you get around LA?
How did you get around anywhere? I can't even get around my hometown.
I can't. Yeah, I have
Google Maps.
Yeah. But what were you saying about?
What I was going to go on about this song and this music video is essentially they really wanted to make everything artificial. Not only in the music, but in the video itself. So, in the video, we have the artificial moon and the waves, and then like everything else is monochromatic and really weird, especially for its time. Mm-hmm. But in the music, at the same time, his voice is distorted in a way of
a radio,
but also he himself is talking, singing like a robot.
Yeah. Very staccato.
Very almost, I would say, emotionless.
Yeah.
To an extent. I mean, there was emotion behind it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was driving home the message of everything's artificial, everything is fake, everything's going to become fake if we keep going down this road.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting for that to be the first thing that's played on MTV. Because it's almost like a slap in the face to what the original message was.
Yeah. Which it's so weird.
But it made the song blow up.
Oh yeah, no.
Even more.
And like I watched an interview about it today, like a retrospective interview about it, and he basically was like, I mean, you don't get many hits like that. You don't get songs that people remember because they made a bunch of other records and it didn't.
Yeah, you don't get a song that to this day you play it and you hear the first O and people know exactly what song you're going
exactly.
For. And you see people rush to the dance floor or not.
Yeah,
because not everyone dances to that song.
That's true. So can we go into a little fun fact section?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this music video is directed by Russell Macaulay.
Okay.
I'll
go with that, yeah.
Mulchy. And he also directed the movie Scorpion King 2. I believe it's Rise of Scorpion.
Not Return of the Scorpion King?
It could be.
Maybe that's 3.
Scorpion King 2, there's 3 of them. And I think Scorpion King 2 did not have The Rock in it.
I thought they all had The Rock.
No, only one has The Rock in it. And then he got really famous because of Scorpion King. You know what? The Rock
wasn't. Don't say it was because of Scorpion King.
No.
He was The Rock.
Nobody knew who The Rock was before the But I think I don't know.
He's just walking around wherever he lived, just calling himself The Rock.
I'm The Rock, also the Scorpion King. What if we call him the Scorpion now because of that?
The King.
Ooh, I feel like another person has that one.
The Rock King.
The rocking chair?
Yeah.
Okay. Once he gets old, he'll be the rocking chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where he'll live.
What?
Like in the chair.
He'll live in the chair?
When you're old, you don't move that much.
That's true. Another fun fact.
Anyways, segue. Fun facts.
Anyway, fun fact. Another fun fact is that Hans Zimmer, the guy who made the music for a lot of famous movies, like he composed the music for the Lion King, the Lion King reboot, Interstellar.
Keep going.
I know more. He's very famous. Oh, he did Inception.
The three options is Interstellar, the Lion King, and the Lion King.
But he was in the band, and he's only in it for like a few seconds, and they didn't know.
Who was he in the band?
He was there's like seven. They're all playing
7 keyboard synth players.
Yeah, they're all synth players. Essentially, it was a synth band.
Well, yeah, it was the 80s.
Yeah, they didn't know what instruments were back in the day.
Well, no, they had just gotten a hold of these instruments that could change its tone and all that kind of stuff. And so, of course, everyone's going to try to use those. Yeah,
and I just think it's really odd. You just see a very handsome, very beautiful, like, honestly, I'd fuck him, Hans Zimmer. That's my fun facts. The Scorpion King 2 director and Hans Zimmer's in it. Okay. And the girl who's in the tube, she, like, because they were, like, doing it all in a day, and they were, like, hoisting her up on these like wires in this tube, she couldn't walk for like a few days after the shoot because how much they were like hoisting her for 3 days she couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did not get paid enough for that.
She might have not even gotten paid at all.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But was that girl one of the backup singers for the song? I think O's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she was just an actress.
They just pulled her off the street. They're like, "Hey, you want to be in a music video?"
She's like, "Yeah, sure.
We're gonna put you into a tube and shove you up it multiple times."
I've been in worse places before.
What? First of all, they're in London, and she has a Brooklyn accent.
That's what they sound like in London.
Oh, okay.
Oi, how you doing, mate? They don't sound like that.
Have you ever been to London?
No.
Okay, you should go there sometime.
I've never been there. I have been to Brooklyn though, and this is how. So the people of Brooklyn, they sound like, "Oi, love, come over here." I can't do a British accent apparently. Fuck. How's that go?
British accent?
Yeah. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders.
Okay. So the director of the music video also did a lot of Duran Duran music videos.
Oh,
I wouldn't say a lot. I guess there's like
a few.
Yeah, a few.
Did he do the famous one?
He did Rio.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't think I've ever watched the music video for Rio.
But the song's great.
I'm sure eventually we'll cover it on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we got too many music videos to go through anyway.
Yeah, that's the reason why this is such a pleasant idea, is because
we can talk about whatever.
Talk about whatever podcast, whatever video we want to, whatever music video. And with that, we get to choose it. And we get to choose whether or not we want to do Duran Duran, or if we want to do Kendrick Lamar, we want to do Kanye, we want to do Lady Gaga, we want to do Sheryl Crow. Like, we have
too many.
Yeah, we have too many. We will never be able to do them all.
Yeah, I wish we could do them all. Okay. Maybe we'll do like a 24-hour stream.
So that's the goal, is to
get every
music video,
even ever. Like from like terrible independent artists.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a few music videos we gotta that we can make fun of.
Well, I don't want to hear about them now. We're doing Video Killed the Radio Star, and then we will do it. We don't want to give it away.
Oh, we're not gonna give it away.
No,
okay, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah. Speaking of which, about like not giving away. I mean, this is our first episode, so I'm sure we're not going to have, a ton of listeners.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to, you can always email us at PK. No,
that's it.
PKTVS at Gmail.
No, VK.
Fuck.
Podcast.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Yes.
PKTVS podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
Say that again. PKTVS podcast@gmail.com. Yes.
Email us there with a recommendation of what you want to hear, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I really liked about this music video is just like you can tell that like video cameras just kind of came out. You
can tell nobody really knew what they were doing.
And like you can tell that they were just like, oh, look at this effect we could do. Oh, this is a fun effect.
It's the same with the music. The guy had like 7 synths just like surrounding him.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Beep, beep. Like, what is all those synths doing? Like, each one is a different instrument?
Of course, yeah.
But what are they? Whatever. Whatever.
Before you get pissed off.
Yeah, I'm getting mad. I'm just like, I love those old. It looks like they had like the first video editing software, and then they just put like you know how like your dad's VHS player, if your dad had a VHS, like
you have a dad.
It had like pre-made built-in effects to it. I feel like some of those feel like this music video. I'm sure it was harder, but it looks like dog shit now. But that's because...
That's something I was going to bring up. It looks like dog shit now, but for that time, this was an insane video.
Yeah.
It brought you things that weren't seen every day.
Mm-hmm.
People, like there was like... The monochromatic of it, they were doing like weird angles. They were being weird. They were being
superimposing explosions and stuff like that.
They were layering. They were layering together like the girl and the radio, but also the moon and waves, and they were doing things in this video that weren't exactly normal, but also made doing those things normal. In music videos. Yeah, like some of the stuff that I see done, it's in a different, it's manifested into like more modern techniques, but in modern music videos, like more shitty ones, I will say, or like have just like those random effects that they pop in just to make the music video seem very interesting. Yeah. Like little glitch effects or something. They did that here. Yeah. But I'm sure it was way harder. Like now, I see people just putting fucking presets on there and like, oh, look, it's already done. Well, it's just so much today. It's so much more easier. Oh, and cheaper. So much easier and cheaper to not only produce music videos, but produce music in general. Yeah. The fact that you can just get onto an iPad and create a beat on GarageBand and then go and make a movie, and then put that into iMovie,
or DaVinci Resolve, I'm going in like deep. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve's free, and that's like an amazing editor, colorer, and then you got Blender if you want to do like 3D effects. Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes time to learn, but like still, like
anyone can do it.
Whenever even when I was a kid making stuff, I did not have an iPhone or a phone in general to like record stuff. Like the quality from my phone now is better than any camera that I had when I was a kid, and it's
tenfold.
Yeah, like way better, like 4K. It's an insane thing now. Like anybody can make a music video, which is awesome. But
is that something that this music video was trying to warn us about?
I don't know. I don't think they thought that hard. It was shot in a day.
I don't think they thought that hard about maybe the music video, but the music was definitely like, hey, loud and clear, if we keep going down this road, it's going to be bad. And we went down that road.
Yeah. But I think they're also fearing the idea that a singularity, like the government or the media or whatever, is controlling the things we're watching and stuff like that in terms of like...
See, you think that they were already thinking of that?
Yeah, like because that's the thing, like the radio wasn't controlled by the people. It was controlled by larger groups.
Entities, yeah.
Yeah, larger entities. Television even was like that. But now with the internet, it's controlled by us. It's controlled by the people, which, it has its ups and downs,
This is where I think you and I disagree a little bit on this. the internet, I don't think is necessarily controlled by us. Look at places, maybe here in the United States, there's a little bit more leeway, but I still don't think that we have complete control over something like that. Look at somewhere like China, where you can't even get on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are certain aspects of these new medias that we have that are always going to be controlled by a larger entity, whether it's government or a larger corporation or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so there are ways of being censored.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, even like with TikTok, you can't say curse words or you get like not demonetized.
See, I'm not even on TikTok. I wouldn't have known that.
If you like say a curse word or something, or even like you can't show anything slightly violent. I mean, like obviously, but in terms of like a movie, like having like blood in it, like you won't get very far in the TikTok algorithm.
Yeah.
Like it will suppress it, which is it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure the Buggles, the Wiggles, or whatever their names are, they didn't really think.
God, if they ever listen to this, they'd be so pissed. I'm like,
Yeah.
We didn't even get our fucking name right, dude.
The Wiggles. I can't believe they called us that. It's a great name for a band, though. We should have named us the Wiggles. But I think it's just an interesting concept to think about. Like we just I don't know. I don't know where my point was going, but
I get what you're trying to say. The way that they were warning us about something that they weren't even aware of that they were warning us.
There basically was like, hey, we don't know what the implications. Like we still are. Like I know we think that the internet's been around a while, and it really hasn't. Like this technology hasn't came around a while. Like I just watched a movie, 3,000 Years of Longing, and they were like, just in the last 200 years, like technology has soared to this weird place where humans really don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like we act like we know what we're talking about, and we're still animals, just like, figuring out life, and most people don't really understand, what's going on. And we're trying to make heads and tails of it. And it's like in 200 years, we've progressed from not having like, we know like horse and buggy, slavery and shit like that, to now technology, and we think it's far gone. And it really hasn't in terms of the human population, in terms of like how long we've been humans.
Well, think about this. We're thinking 200 years before us. Where are we going to be 200 years from now?
And that's what the Bugles were kind of saying.
Yeah. So we're just redoing what they're doing, but on a podcast.
Yeah. And that's why our name is,
Yeah, because honestly, podcasts have like taken over media. They are some of the biggest things now. It used to be. I mean, it still kind of is. Podcasts have these negative connotations with it of like, if you're making a podcast or even listening to podcasts, like you're kind of nerdy, or like you're this or you're that.
Yeah, you're a millennial scum.
But at the same time, the amount of people that are tuning in and listening to these things, because it's so accessible. You put it on when you're in the car heading home from work after a long day, and you get a good laugh.
Yeah. And that, that's all what we're looking for. I think it's weird because it's like podcasts, films, TV, they all serve a different purpose in terms of this cat's going crazy. They all serve a different purpose. And like podcasts, you pop it on when you're like working around the house or you're going to work. Movies you pop on like at the end of the week or whatever, or like when you have a lot of time and you just want to hang out. TV shows, you pop that on after a long day's work and you just want to relax and turn off your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they all serve like a different purpose. But I don't know if necessarily podcasts have taken over media. I mean, it's definitely a huge form of media now. I mean, it's just fancy radio.
But I think that the really cool thing about podcasts is the censorship that we were talking about is way less.
Yeah.
You have control of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. I mean, not everyone's going to listen.
Sure.
Not everyone's going to agree with you. But you have the opportunity and chance to speak your mind and do the thing that you have been, wanting to discuss.
Yeah.
Which is why podcasts are, I think, taking off, is because of
how genuine it is, you
don't have a big ass producer of a movie or a television show or news or anything like that telling you, hey, you can't say this, you can't say that, you have to work around this. Now, if you for some reason wanted to tell me like, hey, I don't really want to bring this up, that's different. That's me and you working on the same level.
Yeah.
But overall, this is a way of expressing yourself, and it goes with the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, so many people listen to that, but so many people don't listen to it because they don't agree with what he says.
Yeah.
But he has the right to have his podcast and to say what he wants to say.
Sure. Then there's like that it's Andrew Tate now. That motherfucker needs to shut up and never talk again. He's wrong and he's stupid and he's making I know that's my opinion, but sometimes your opinions are right. Or morally just right, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm morally better than Andrew Tate, but I feel like I am.
No, I get what you're saying.
I think I am.
And that
I know I am.
That at the end of the day is
Andrew Tate,
quote unquote Andrew fucking Tate.
Andrew
that
Tate
should be a hashtag on Twitter now.
Hashtag Andrew Tate.
You know how pissed off he'd be about that.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. We're starting a revolution.
Next thing you know, we get a letter in the mail saying that we're being sued for whatever.
Well, he can only send letters now because he can't.
He can't DM us on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook.
He has to send by pigeon. He has to go by like the oldest source. He has to send like a telegram.
No, imagine that, a world where everyone just cancels each other.
Ooh.
And we just go back, revert.
Hunger Games, but canceling each other.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of social media people into a room and see who cancels, who gets not canceled at the end of it.
At the end, it's just some artificial AI who's like
perfect.
Yeah,
actually,
not even a person at that point.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we need to get back to what we were discussing with the music video.
Mm-hmm.
If we thought that it got its message across, if we think it was a good music video and good music.
Okay.
And what it did to the culture and to the world.
All right.
If it did anything.
I mean, it culturally, I think it exploded. But did it come off with the message that it wanted to come off as? I don't think so. I don't think, because of the context of it coming out on to MTV with the title that it has, I think people didn't get the message, and I think people just danced to it. Outkast said best, you don't want to listen to me, you just want to dance.
I can't believe my mom, when she listened to this, shout out to my mom, but like she's gonna love that you just said that.
But like, it's true. Like, I think nobody got the point, and especially I don't think the music video helped that much.
That's where I think we are different on that aspect of it. I think people got the point. I don't think that people understood how important that point was, though. I don't think that people understood that this was going to be something that would take off, as what they were saying was going to take off as fast as it did.
Yeah.
Because it's basically when music videos became like a popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
It exploded not only for music, but for video, for everything else. And how we were consuming media changed when this aired.
Yeah.
And because we saw that, and we saw this first video, well, we didn't see it. We weren't born at the time.
No.
But when that happened, there was this cataclysm of we want more.
Yeah.
And that is from that point on, probably even before that point, but from that point on, that has been what humans and everyone have really wanted, is just more and more and more and more and more. We want easier ways of communicating. We want easier ways of viewing and streaming things. We want easier ways of listening to music.
Yeah.
We want easier ways of doing everything so that we can gain more and consume more. And with that, it's a good and bad thing. Sometimes it's just for movies, but like the access that we have to something, like if we have a question about something and we're able to just search it in Google.
Yeah.
It's such a helpful thing.
Yeah.
So there's
sure.
this, it's a double-sided coin. We have this thing of we are really, really grateful to have the opportunity to learn the things that we are learning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how much is the other aspect of that, as in the media we're consuming and how it's being controlled or not controlled? How is that affecting us?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think it does do a good job at explaining some of the themes, but I still think the majority of the audience didn't understand it, didn't grasp it.
Which I don't think is the audience's fault, because I don't even think that
they knew.
They knew. Yeah, exactly. Because nobody would have, anyone that was alive at that time will look back on that and be like, look at now and be like, how in the world did we get here?
Yeah. But in terms of like directing and a music video, it was very fast and creative, and it had a lot of quick cuts, which is like a staple of that director,
Yeah.
Scorpion, if you've seen Scorpion King 2.
Yeah.
But he directed it very well, and it was very fast, and it was very creative for its time, and it definitely has brought in a lot of tropes for today, and that makes it a good music video, I think, because it inspired so many other fantastic music videos,
Yeah.
So, and it being one of the first, it defined the genre. So
It defined not only the genre, but what it meant to make a music video, what it meant to be a music video.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, some music videos, if you watch back in those days, like they just kind of put a singer in a room and just like sort of like danced around, and that was it. But this one had it was fast, it was fun, and you don't get bored watching it. So
it has a very uncanny valley feel. When I was watching, I was like, which is the point.
Yeah.
It had this feel of, this feels weird. And I'm sure back then it felt even weirder.
Yeah, because it was so abnormal.
Yeah. But it has that feel of like, oh, I'm you, but I'm not you.
Yeah.
This is what I perceive. Well, when I'm saying I'm talking about the band and the music and the director. This is what I perceive as what's going to happen. And it was kind of like
people in tubes.
Yeah.
Mass
people
hysteria.
in tubes.
Cats and dogs loving each other.
Little girls just staring into the camera and like
exploding.
Pointing at the camera.
And exploding. Wait, that was Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Stranger
80
Things.
cents.
Oh my God. Wait.
That's how it's going to end. It's going to end with 11
playing that song and going
pointing
at the camera, and then exploding, and then like
Finn,
and then I was gonna say then fucking Dustin goes, well, I've seen Stranger Things, and then that's
roll
it.
credits.
Yeah. Finn. All right, what would you rate this music video?
I feel like we need a better transition.
Oh, okay. So, how would you like to rate? Okay, you do the transition.
Okay. So we've discussed everything about not everything. We discussed what we wanted to about the music video,
Sure.
about the directing,
Sure.
about this, that, the other. We discussed essentially the interesting parts of what's going on with this video and the fun facts. now we should probably, I guess, rate it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really hard to rate something just because no matter what you choose, someone's going to be like, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not right.
You know what I mean? I would say for the music, for its time, was ahead of its game.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 5, I would put it at a 3.5.
Yeah, I would probably put it right at 3.5 too. Like, it's one of those songs that it's very fun, but I don't think about it that much.
No, there's not like, it's not that it was like the most groundbreaking thing ever.
Yeah,
Not when it comes to the music.
but it's like fun.
No, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It added something new.
Mm-hmm.
It had the the monochromatic, not monochromatic, the monotoneness of his voice, and then also the
the effects and all that
whoops
stuff
of the girl, and it had something for everyone, and it was so catchy that it was able to grab anyone and to like grab their attention.
Yeah. So 3.5, 3.5. That gives us a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
which is a pretty good rating for a song, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's a 7 out of 10
for the
music.
song. For the music video, what do you give it?
For the music video, I'm going to give it, I would say a 4.5.
Wow, out of 5?
Well, I guess I'm being a little overzealous with it because it was the first for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a staple. It is it's what made music videos what they are today.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't. It's kind of how you have to rate Citizen Kane up high, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not going to sit there and say Citizen Kane's a shitty movie.
Yeah,
because
it's not.
No, what it did was ridiculous.
Yeah,
and that's the same with Video Killed the Radio Star.
You gave it a 4.5?
I'd say 4.5.
Okay.
Well, hold on. We're gonna sit here and say that Video Killed the Radio Star is the Citizen Kane of music videos.
It's not. I would say it's more of the Spy Kids 3. It's the Spy Kids 3. It changed cinema. It's Shark Boy and Lava Girl, babe.
Dude, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I don't care. To this day,
mm-hmm. Still
is one of the best films of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you have to watch it in 3D. You
have to.
There's no other way to watch that.
No, because there's like the part where it tells you to put on 3D glasses. You're just gonna not do it.
Yeah, you're gonna mime putting on glasses.
What, are you gonna be a nerd?
Fucking
and not
posers.
You're such a poser. You don't watch it how it was meant to be watched. Sorry. Okay. So my rating would probably be. Now I'm gonna go a little harsher because essentially it was very interesting. But for my taste, it's not the best 80s music video out there. But it did start a whole revolution, so I'm going to have to give it a 4. I know you gave it a 4.5, but I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. The half is just it's just like my personal preference. You know what? Shut up. Don't even talk about me.
No. I respect, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about that because it definitely is, that definitely works.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that. If you were going to say like 2,
I wasn't going to say 2.
What the fuck?
No.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. I was going to say 2.5.
Oh, okay. That's better.
Oh.
To finish this up, I just want to say my favorite thing about the 80s was how they couldn't
stop doing cocaine.
Well, that, and they didn't know how to finish a song.
No, they all just fade out. That's one of my most annoying music thing from the 80s, where it's just like in my brain I think those people are fucking still singing forever and they're just in a void of singing that song. They're like fucking Atlas having to pull up is it Atlas? Who's the one that had to push up the mountain, the rock up the mountain?
That's not Atlas. Atlas had to hold the world on his back.
Whatever, whoever, Davidicus.
Okay.
Jesus pushing up the rock in the mountain.
You just pissed off so many people.
It's okay. It just annoys me. It's just a stupid trope that annoys me.
I just want to know what was going on at that time that people were just like, I don't know how to fucking end this song. I don't give a shit anymore. Just bring down the faders. We're just gonna let this go its own way.
I don't know. Like, it just feels so boring. Like, you couldn't have ended it with like a doon 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 doon. You know.
And that's where we end the podcast. It actually is just us talking, and then it just fades out. Into
Oh, that'd be funny. We're still talking right now. And
Yeah,
it's still fading
it just
out.
goes out.